Hey guys, Ryan Dement from Chasing Financial Freedom podcast. I hope you guys are having a great day. This week on the podcast, we have Robert Fehlen, and I think I got his last name right because I hate butchering last names. Robert is an entrepreneur. He started two businesses. He's got some great background for you guys that are doing Johnny side hustle that want to get out of working your 9 to 5 and getting into your business, being an entrepreneur. Robert, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ryan. Super happy to be here. Hopefully, there's no storm noise in the background or where the walls cave in from the tsunami it seems like we're having, but we'll keep rolling with it.
Awesome. Stay safe. We don't want you to float away out there. So tell the listeners a little bit about your background before we get into your journey.
For sure. So, at a high level, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio right now. I've got a wife and one great child and another child. No, and they switch back and forth at times. No, they're both. Yeah. So been in the entrepreneur space for, wow, almost 4 or 5 years now at this point. Previous path, I started out as a lot of entrepreneurs do, mowing lawns. Early on, jumped into roofing when I was 14 years old, just saving cash for college, ultimately with the goal of, hey, how can I graduate college debt free? While I was finishing up, was blessed with the opportunity to start just at a financial assistant position with a private equity group out of the Midwest and work my way up the ranks there before ultimately deciding to make the scary leap.
So I have to ask, at the age of 14, you were in the roofing business. Were you physically working on roofs or what were you doing in the business?
Yeah. So towards the tail end of it, I was actually laying shingles at the top. In the beginning, it was just carrying shingles up on the roof and doing the grunt work of cleaning up everything on the ground. My old boss, if he somehow came across this, would probably hate this, but he gave me a hard hat and a clipboard and said, hey, if you see a white truck pull up, make sure you have this on. You look like you're just taking inventory and not actually working on the roof. In that industry, they make it work.
Hey, that's pretty awesome because not to bash generations, but a lot of the younger folks, and I'm a little older than you, we've lost the ability to work hard and go through that process. And that's really cool that you did it at the age of 14.
Absolutely. It's a challenge that's starting to show up and starting to see that trend happen even more with what these generations have been through COVID.
So you are seeing that or you're not seeing that? Sorry, you cut out.
Yes. Yeah. No, we are seeing that. Even the one specific example, I've heard multiple stories around even individuals I know with their children that were able to be on unemployment for a time and get a taste of that throughout the pandemic. It really set them back in motivation and opportunity as well.
And are they actually seeing them readjusting and coming back or are they still set back?
There's been a few, even in the past week, I heard a story that their son is still set back at that point, still stayed at home, lost that motivation to grow once he started to see some of those checks coming in.
So how does, and we'll go down a path, but I got to ask the last question is how does that son support himself? Is his parents supporting him or is he actually have a side gig or?
Right now, he's staying at home. So he's right in that college age, could be a freshman in college at this point, but the parents are, in a way, enabling it at the same time.
Wow. We just opened up a whole nother conversation
Yeah,
I apologize. So let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey and so forth. It started at 14. I like that. Or sorry, before that, you were mowing lawns. What got you into wanting to be an entrepreneur?
yeah. So I can point back to the time. So my grandfather down in Georgia before he passed away, he and my grandmother owned a small sub shop. And during the summers where we'd go to visit, we'd get the opportunity to sweep the floors and wipe the tables at a young age. He would take me on delivery orders in the van. And the summer where he passed away, I got to spend time down there and get to sit next to him, whether on the couch or next to his bed, and just ask a lot of questions and learn so much about business, being a business owner, the tool it can be to impact people and provide jobs and really create the life that you want for your family. So I was fascinated by that. You could even look back at that point after that conversation. My high school grades, my first 2 years of high school weren't that great. And then after that summer, I actually started to take things seriously moving forward. But I always had the itch from then on. I knew I was going to be in business, just wasn't sure what it was going to be at the time.
So did you actually go to college and graduate?
I did, yeah. So I finished financial management, bachelor's of financial management.
Got to ask the big question. what you learned in college, how often do you put that to play in your businesses?
That's a great question. So for me, I went through, so I did my bachelor's degree in 3 years. And for me, it was more about getting that piece of paper. I was lucky enough that the firm that hired me on probably should have had a bachelor's degree before I did to get started with them. And honestly, what I learned there, I was being able to take back to some of the more complex classes, already having the answers from being able to learn in the field as well. So I think it's a great opportunity to push yourself and set a goal and show you can consistently get through it. But there's nothing like learning in the trenches.